Hello, hello, hello. Happy Saturday to everybody. Hope you're having a great weekend and doing well. As always, if you got something to say, drop it in the chat. And let's get started. I saw a little interview clip with Diana Ross a couple months ago that I really liked and have been thinking about. So I thought I'd share it with you all. And she had this to say: we have a choice in what our lives are going to be like. Every time I create a positive thought, also I create a negative thought. Since I create positive and negative, it's which one I give the most attention that is powerful. When I think positive constantly, it's very powerful and it controls me. If I think negative all the time, it's going to control me too. So my positive thought right now is there is going to be no disaster to destroy what I've planned on for me and my family. And if there is, that's life. I thought this was a great quote. I thought this was a really great quote, and there's a lot in there. The first sentence alone, I think, is one of the best messages that there is. And it's so easy to forget, or it's so easy to ignore it altogether. Not believe in it altogether. The fact that we have a choice in what our lives are going to be like. That message alone is perfect, right? And so I guess I shouldn't do that. That's a bad camera angle. I got a new setup in here, sorry. So how we choose what our life is going to be like, it comes down to where we feed, where we feed our thoughts. Do we feed the positive ones? Do we feed the negative ones? And when I was thinking about this, it kind of reminded me of like a yin yang, right? It's like there's both. There's dark and there's light. And we get to decide where we want to spend our time and how we want to spend our time. And we can manipulate our mind and our actions to access that area. All right, so if we want to spend it in the light, we're more than welcome to. If we want to spend it in the dark, we're more than welcome to. If we concentrate on spending in the light, it will be easier to remain in light. If we concentrate on spending it in the dark, it's going to be easier to spend that time in the dark. So let's go ahead and assume that everyone wants to be in the light. Because I think at some point in our lives, hopefully throughout our lives, but if not, at least some point in our life, we want to be in the light. Right? So we need to figure out what to do when we get caught in the dark. Right? Because even if we do spend our lives in the light all the time, that yin yang, it's still got that dark dot in the light square. And likewise, there's still that light dot in the dark square. So even when it seems like there's all darkness, no light, there's still that one light dot. And likewise, when it seems like we're always in the light, there's still that one dark dot. There's still that one dark dot. So we need to figure out what to do when we encounter that dark dot, or we encounter that dark space, or we encounter those negative thoughts. How do we cope with that? I think the easiest one is to remember that there's always ups and downs, right? There's always valleys and mountaintops. And if we're in a valley, we just got to remind ourselves that means that there's a new mountaintop coming. We always got to remind ourselves that there's a new mountaintop coming our way. Everything moves in cycles. Life is constantly moving in cycles. And the one that I've been really trying to work on personally is to shorten the time being in the valley. Right? It's like, okay, I know that mountaintop is coming. How can I make it get here sooner? And sometimes it's just a flip of a switch, It's almost like we just have to, flip a switch in our brain that says, you know what, I'm choosing to be positive here, even though there's all this negativity that's happening around me. I'm going to choose to be positive, right? And you can just mentally flip that switch. That happened to me the other day. I can't remember the exact circumstances, but I was not feeling good. And then, and I was like, man, I know I'm not feeling good. I know this isn't going to last forever, but I still feel bad. I couldn't mentally flip that switch. So what I did, a song popped into my head. A song we used to sing in church popped into my head, right? And I started singing that song, and I was just like, wow, I was not expecting that to be the switch flipper. A song that we've been singing in church since I was a baby. That's what flipped the switch. So if we can't mentally flip the switch, then maybe something like a song, or maybe like some going to work out, whatever it may be, doing something physical can help us flip that mental switch to get us into a new headspace. And at the very end of all this, when Diana Ross says, what'd she say? So right now, my positive thought is there is going to be no disaster. And if there is, that's life. I was just like, wow, that's pretty gangster. That's pretty gangster. That's as gangster as you can get. So if we've tried flipping our switches, we tried doing something in the physical realm to flip our switch, and we still can't get there, sometimes just saying that's life can help us move on. I don't know. I hope you liked the quote. I thought it was great. I hope you liked the quote. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. Join me next Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Like, share, subscribe. Do all that stuff that the AI likes. And I will see you next time. Have a great week.